Hello and welcome back to another episode of Mac Farms. All right, so it's um, it's the first week of March. Spring's upon us, and there is lots to do in the garden. We've got um, basically spring crops, some of our cold weather crops. We've planted starts for another round of spring or for cold weather crops, but at the same time, we've already got our warm weather crops started. They'll be going out here soon. So there's lots to do out here. Um, so mostly all the, well, not mostly, all the beds that we currently have been raised beds. So started off with basically putting cardboard down, try to kill off the weeds, and then started putting soil on top of that for our raised beds. The issue I found is I have this area was basically all weeds and Bermuda grass. The weeds aren't that big a deal. It's the Bermuda grass. It grows as a rhizome, so without removing it, it'll eventually just work its way up into the beds, and that's what I've discovered on the first couple beds. So basically, I um, covered everything with plastic all last year to try to kill everything off. And it did a really good job, but it doesn't get everything. So then what I decided to do was, um, without renting some equipment, basically lots of labor, got me a forged tine fork, right, and basically just manually going through one area at a time and pulling up the rhizome. It's a very slow and tedious process, but when I do that, all the rhizome's gone. So I'll show you kind of what I mean. There you go. See, this is why if you don't yank it up, you just try to kill it, spray it here, it won't do anything because it'll just continue to send up new grass anywhere on this rhizome. So without pulling it up, you'll never really get rid of it. So basically the last couple beds, I've just manually gone through and pulled it all up. We're kind of getting to an area over here where it's a bit of a funky shape because we've got a little walk path that goes through here too. And buying raised beds gets pricey. So we're actually going to I've got to kind of manually till all this, get all the rhizome out, and then I'm going to do some in-ground beds right here. It'll be the first time I've done in-ground beds for vegetables. I mean, I've got flower beds and stuff throughout, but it'll be the first time for vegetables in-ground. So that's what we're going to be working on. Basically, I'm going to get started, and then we'll bring you back as we're going along to kind of show you the progress. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Okay, so it's taken a long time to get to this point where we're at today. As we had said in the first half, we had to manually till all this to yank out the Bermuda grass. It grows as a rhizome, so if you don't pull it all out and you just try to smother it, eventually it will come back. It doesn't matter how long it's been smothered for. If any bit of it's still alive, it'll just come back. So we tilled all this area over here. The exception of just a little bit more over there that we got to do, but we tilled basically all of this right here. We are able to then create two beds that are in the ground. So we have, it's about 40 inches by 8 feet this section, and 40 inches by about 7 feet this section. It's because of the shape. We have our path, our walking path through here, so we had to kind of follow that. So it's a little bit shorter, but it's no big deal. So this is our first in-ground beds that we've created. We're gonna try it out. I mean, I don't know how great it's gonna be this first season. You know, sometimes it takes a little while to get the soil just right, but that's okay. I think we'll give it a attempt. I mixed in compost with the native soil, which is basically just sand. So mixed in compost with it, and then put a layer about 3 inches of compost just on top. Um, so we actually have a volunteer um, watermelon coming up. We had a watermelon vine that went through this whole area last summer. So that one's actually volunteer. And then we planted corn in here. We're gonna give it a try. We'll see how it's doing. It's starting to sprout. I don't know if you'll be able to see. And then we put mulch in between our two beds. That way we could get in here, work in the area, but also have mulch to help keep the moisture locked into the soil. Mulch all around this, just to keep the weeds down, and also, like I said, keep them, to try to keep as much moisture in the soil as possible. Even though the raised beds, if all that soil that's around it is just completely dry, it will suck the moisture out of everything. So it's definitely a lot of work. We just kind of put some boards around it just to kind of outline our area where our beds will be. Eventually I'll probably pull it up. We won't probably need it, but for now, just to kind of have an idea of what it looks like, I put some boards around it. Some of the spots I'll probably put some type of edging, especially along the walk path area, just to kind of keep it neater. That way all that mulch in the walk path doesn't end up in the beds. But this is our goal. This is what we've been working on. I only have some, with all the work stuff that's going on, it may only be a few hours given in a week to actually work on it, but we were able to get it all up. There's a possibility we missed some, so over time we may have to yank more of it up, but in general I'm hoping that we got it all. Like I said, if there's some in the walk paths, we'll go through and pull that up just so it doesn't grow over here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, the trick was smothering it to basically take as much life out of it, and then going through and ripping up the individual rhizomes. By doing that, I think we're going to basically tackle our Bermuda grass issue. I know a lot of people have Bermuda grass. I know even Kevin from Epic Gardening is talking about how he's got Bermuda grass and he's trying to come up with ways to deal with it. And I hate to tell him, but you're probably going to have to just manually remove it. That seems to be about the only way. Only other thing I've seen is people that put agricultural plastic down and just leave it down and then cut holes and plant into it. I've seen that works with some success, but that's not the route I wanted to go. I wanted to be able to just remove it all, plant into the ground. That way I can kind of just do whatever I want with this section. It doesn't matter what we plant, we can kind of experiment. As if the corn pops, I'm hoping it will, I see it coming up. I'm thinking about trying a Three Sisters kind of thing over here. Maybe some, I've got some plenty of winter squashes that I can probably plant still, and lots of different beans that I've got going on in the garden. So we may try a Three Sisters. We've got some other plants that we're going to put in the front section here. So like I said, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what we got going on next.